the shitstorm that I needed in my life. So I pushed. I worked hard. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for always telling me how much you hated me. That gave me the energy to always move forward. As I think back to my earliest memory, thank you. Thank you for telling me when I was a little wee one that my dad was not my dad. Thank you for lying to me. In that moment, as I ran to my room in tears, you brought me to God. As I prayed that night, I prayed to leave this earth and to never return. Now, what comes next? Was it a dream? Was it reality? I may never know. But what I do know is the memory of seeing Jesus telling me, you have to go back, little one. You're not done. There's more for you to do on earth. And as I woke up, crying, being so furious that I had to come back to this planet, I remember always being in that bed, every night continuing to pray to leave this earth. But I also have a memory of me as an older adult coming to comfort that little one in the bed. As I would envision myself older, graceful, successful, and also just so loving and kind, I would imagine she would hold me, tell me how much she loved me. So thank you, Mom, for always telling me that you loved me after brutality, after you told me how stupid I was. Thank you for telling me that I was stupid. Without you telling me that I was stupid, I wouldn't have tried so hard in school. As I remember the school coming to you, saying, hey, your daughter's really good at math. Actually, she's better than good. She's great at math. But her reading's not up to par. And thank you for declining the scholarship the school offered me to go to a private school, so I'd have the one-on-one time with the teachers that I needed. Thank you for telling them no. Thank you for forcing them into pushing me into a different type of program. Thank you for asking them to put me in SLD, which stands for Slow Learning Disabilities. Because I was in SLD, I had the one-on-one time with those teachers that I needed. They taught me the alphabet in first grade. And as I continued to struggle throughout elementary school to read, thank you for always telling me that you can't read. Thank you for always telling me that you were dyslexic. Because you told me your shortcomings, and you wore your shortcomings as a badge of honor, as a way to hold yourself back so you could never do and achieve what you truly wanted to achieve in this life. Thank you for showing me the example that I needed so I could become the opposite. Thank you for pulling me out of my favorite elementary school and pushing me into a new one. And this new elementary school, when I was 10 in 5th grade, I met Mr. Mack, one of my favorite teachers of all time. This giant of a man taught me the joy, the art, the creativity, the other worlds that open up when it comes to reading. He brought reading to life for me. Thank you, Mr. Mack. But first, I have to thank my mom for always telling me how stupid I was. Because of her constant brutality that forced me to lean on my teachers, the kind teachers that I had, always encouraging me. So thank you to all the teachers out there that encourage children the proper way, to encourage them that they can achieve. But first, I had to thank my mom for being so mean. Without her meanness, always telling me that you are lacking, you are not enough, you are not good enough, I wouldn't have pushed myself as hard as I did. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom, for showing so much love and kindness to my brothers. You taught me that there was another side to you, the side that I was not privileged to. But because I was not privileged to that side of you, I had amazing quality time with my dad as we went to Home Depot. And now, till this day, Home Depot is still one of my favorite stores. I love tools and building things. Because of the time spent with him, he showed me how I can create in physical reality, how I could bring my goals, my dreams, my ambitions to life instead of just in my mind. So thank you, Mom, for always pushing me down, holding me back, and not believing in me. Thank you, Mom. Thank you so much. I really appreciate every time you told me that I was stupid. Each time that I had to do something on my own at a really young age. Like the memory of going into a bank at 4 years old with rolled up coins. To most people, they would assume that was harsh, but I say thank you. I say thank you for not holding my hand and coddling me. I say thank you for showing me that doesn't matter how young or old I am, the age doesn't matter. I can stand on my own 2 feet. I could walk into a building and ask for what I need. Thank you, Mom, for showing me the path, showing me that life isn't easy, showing me that behind closed doors, sometimes it's tougher than we realize for others. But as the world continues to turn, we can't look down on those that had a hard life. Instead, we can say thank you because they learned something from those tough times. Those tough times was like a healing incubator, as if they were a caterpillar in a cocoon waiting to spread their wings. But we're not there yet. We haven't spread our wings just yet. Let's go back a little bit further. Let's go back and say thank you, Mom. Thank you so very much for never believing in me. For every time when I was little and I said, when I grow up, I want to be a doctor. Thank you for telling me that I could only be a nurse. Thank you, Mom, for every time I said I wanted to be an attorney. You told me I can only be a paralegal. Thank you, Mom, for when I told you that I want to join the military. You said, why don't you work at the post office instead? Now, granted, they're all great, amazing careers. But thank you for always shooting my dreams down to a lower peg, to a peg that you felt that I could achieve. Thank you for never believing in me that I could achieve beyond your limiting beliefs. By you not believing in me, it just pushed me that much further down my path of believing in myself. So as we continue forward in this journey, we come to my sophomore year of high school. Actually, let's rewind. Coming to middle school, still in SLD classes. And I thank you, Mom, for forcing me to stay in those classes because I met some amazing people along the way in those classes that are amazing, strong, talented human beings that just didn't believe in themselves. So thank you for allowing me to sit here now to say thank you to all those that were in SLD with me, always supporting me and just being my friend. So thank you very much. But first I have to say thank you, Mom, for allowing me the opportunity to be in SLD classes. Thank you, Mom, for when the recruiter from the high school came to our school to tell us about the different magnet programs in the high schools. Thank you for telling me that you were not going to help me get into the junior ROTC program. Thank you for telling me that I needed to do all the work myself. And the only thing that you were willing to do was sign the piece of paper once everything was done, if I got in. And I was determined I was going to get in. So thank you, Mom, for again not coddling me, for not holding my hand, but allowing me to learn what it really feels like to go after my goals from such a young age. So thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom, for when I was in high school. Thank you for showing me your career. Your career from hooker to escort to madam of Palm Beach. Thank you for showing me what it looked like to have a business, the good way, the bad way, and even the in-between. So thank you for putting the entrepreneurial spirit in my system and in my energy field, in my mind, in my thoughts, in everything. So thank you, Mom. But thank you for, as that madam of Palm Beach, my sophomore year, when the FBI was raiding through South Florida, every illegal operation closing up shop, to include yours. So thank you for showing me how to hightail it out of Dodge when shit hits the fan. For in that moment, as we left Florida, for a moment in time, you showed me what it looks like to run. You also showed me what I don't want to do is continue to run from myself. Because as I ventured through life, I was running. I was running from the person in the mirror, from the person that's within me. I was running from my future self. So thank you, Mom, for always running and showing me exactly what I don't want to be. But as we come back to Florida, we're only gone for a short period of time, just long enough to divide and conquer, to separate my dad, but leave him out of the equation, leave him in a different state. Thank you for bringing my brothers and I back to Florida to yet again divide and conquer. As you strategically left each of us, me in Florida by myself outside of my best friend's house, my older brother at Checkers outside by himself with his girlfriend, and my little brother you took back to our dad in Tennessee. But in that moment, as you pulled up, I had no clue your plan. But the one thing that is for certain, you have always had a plan. And you were very strategic in your maneuvers. So thank you, Mom, for teaching me strategy. Now here's the strategy. What we say is very important. You taught me that from an early age. So thank you, Mom. Thank you for forcing me to pay attention to language and verbiage and what people say and what people don't say and reading in between the lines. So thank you, Mom. In that moment, when you pulled up in your black Corvette with my little brother next to you and the dogs on your lap, you asked me 2 questions. The questions were, do you want to help me run my business or do you want to stay in school? And I knew after all these years, at 15 years old, I had the right answer. And the answer was, I want to stay in school. And you said goodbye and you drove away. Thank you, Mom, for all those tough lessons, because in that moment, there was no time for emotion. There was only time to decide, what do I do next? So I marched into my friend's house where her mom was waiting in the other room. And I told her, my mom asked me these 2 questions, and then she drove away. And thank you to her mom for having me go in the other room as you spoke to your husband and asking if I can live with you guys. Thank you for taking me in. And that best friend was lucky enough to have 4 parents, and all 4 parents took me in. As she bounced around between the 2 houses, so did I. And I got to experience what it looked like to live in different household environments. But better yet, I got to stay in school. So thank you, Mom, for leaving me so I can learn to stand on my own 2 feet. Now going back to high school, before you left, I asked my guidance counselor if I could leave SLD, the Slow Learning Disability Program, and if I can enter into honors classes. I was told no. You need to have your mother's permission. So I said, no problem. I know she'll sign off on this. She'll see that I progressed. She'll be so proud of me because I thought you would. So I took that piece of paper to you, and you told me no. That I was exactly where I needed to be. I needed to be in those slow learning disability classes because I was stupid. So thank you, Mom, for yet again telling me that I was stupid. Thank you, Mom, for leaving me in the state of Florida. Thank you to my guidance counselor, because as I came back to you and said, okay, my mom left, but I have a plan. Before you call the state on me and have me to become a ward of the state, here's what I came up with. I have a house with a family that took me in. They're willing to let me stay here until I graduate. So all I need you to do is allow me to leave SLD so I can be enrolled into honors classes. And because I officially had no parent, no legal guardian, I was allowed to leave the SLD program and enroll into honors classes. So thank you, Mom, for never believing in me. And because you didn't believe in me, I continued to climb. I continued to push because I was always told that I was not allowed to be in sports. I became a cheerleader. I played water polo. I was on the drill team. I worked harder and harder every day to prove that I am somebody. So thank you, Mom, for never giving shit about me. Thank you, Mom, for continuously telling me that I was stupid. Because if you didn't, I wouldn't have realized that our school system is just that, a system. And because it's a system, I was able to learn how the system operated. And when my sophomore year, when I got a C in chemistry, I was able to go back to summer school to get a B, to make sure that I can have the highest GPA possible before I graduated. Because not only did I want to graduate, but I wanted to graduate with a pretty high GPA. That was my goal, because I knew that in order to get into college, I needed good grades. So I pushed, I worked hard, I stayed up late, went to bed early, and I continued to push. Now fast forward, it's almost time to graduate. I'm between 16 and 17. Don't remember exactly the age, but I remember getting a phone call from you, Mom. Thank you for threatening my life that day. Because you threatened my life, because you threatened to send someone down to the state of Florida to kill me, I decided, with the help of my friend's parents, to get emancipated from you. So thank you for pushing me down that path. Now, by the time you were served, it just so happened that you're so good at running that you evaded being served until Mother's Day. Till this day, you hold it over my head. But thank you for holding things over my head constantly. Thank you for always telling me that it was my fault that you married my dad. Thank you for always telling me that it was my fault that you couldn't do something. Thank you for always blaming me for your shortcomings in life, because you taught me what I don't want to be and what I don't want to do. I never want to blame other people or life circumstances for me not being where I want to be in life. Instead, I thank you for setting the example so I can create a different life. And as the time approached for Emancipation Day, it just so happened that by the time everything was coming together for the emancipation, it was right before my 18th birthday. And I said, forget it. We don't need to continue to press forward. My friends' parents didn't need to continue to spend money towards it because I was almost a legal adult. So thank you, Mom, for threatening my life that day to continue to push me forward. Thank you for always giving me your anger. Your anger I turn into fuel. Even my anger I turn into fuel. So thank you, Mom, for always giving me the fire. I appreciate it. Now it comes time to graduation. I didn't invite you to my graduation because I didn't want you there. I know that it hurt you, or at least you claim it hurt you, that you weren't allowed to come to my graduation, but you didn't have the right to be there. You not once encouraged me, but I thank you for never encouraging me. Because you never encouraged me, because you always put me down, because you told me how much you hated me and how little you wanted me, because you always threatened to sell me, because of all these negative things, I graduated with a 3.75 GPA from high school. That also encouraged me to push forward, not just to join the military at that time, but to go to college first. And thank you for never teaching me about finances. Because you never taught me about finances, I made a lot of mistakes with loans, with student loans, with credit cards, and that definitely pushed me to join the military 3 years sooner than I wanted to originally. So thank you, Mom, for not teaching me what you didn't know. Thank you for allowing me to learn a lot of hard lessons on my own. And because of that, I joined the Air Force. So thank you, Mom, for always being that force that made me stand against my fears. Because as I entered the airplane to join the Air Force, I was scared shitless. And all I told myself, or that whisper at least that's in my head, the whisper that I now know is God, that always encouraged me in my head every time he said something negative to me, the whisper that said, don't believe her, keep moving forward, the whisper that said, stay in high school, the whisper that said to me on that plane, it's okay, just sit down, you're going to go to sleep and wake up in Texas. You're going to wake up at training, so just keep going, keep moving forward. So thank you, Mom, for not giving me the structure that I needed. So that encouraged me to join the military, where I did receive the structure and the discipline that I needed from masculine men in a healthy, productive way. I needed that energy. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom, for never allowing me to cry, for never thank you, Mom, for never holding me and allowing me to cry. Because in the military, when I was around all those men, I learned how to use my masculine energy in a healthy, productive way. And it wasn't always easy, but I learned the lessons I needed to learn. So thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom, for also not giving me that feminine, loving support that I needed. Because of that, God did send me amazing, strong women to show me the feminine love that I've always needed. And between the two, between the military, between all the beautiful women that entered my life to support me along my journey, I learned how to balance out my masculine and feminine energy within me. I learned how to stand on my own 2 feet and to always go after my goals. So thank you, Mom. Because of you, I got my bachelor's in psychology. Thank you, Mom. Because you never believed in me, I decided to become a life coach and help others, help those that need more encouragement, need someone to ask them the tough questions so they can realize they have everything within them that they need to move forward. So if the whole world goes to shit, we still have what we need within us. So thank you, Mom, for being the shitstorm that I needed in my life so I can create the life of my dreams. Thank you, Mom. I will always love you. Ciao for now.